Quick disclaimer, we are not investigative journalists. We simply read, watch, and listen to whatever we can to satisfy our curiosity while use this information to form our own personal opinions. Do not take this as investigative journalism. This is simply our own rabbit holes.
Hello, friends, and get ready. We're going to talk about the docs, the crimes, and all the people involved. This is Crime and Chill.
I'm Rachel. Did you guys forget about me?
No, they didn't forget about you because I made sure I talked about you because I missed you.
Okay. Was Clay a good co-host?
He was. He wanted to know if you listened, and I said probably not.
We'll listen to our own.
He goes, but I said that. I said she doesn't listen. We don't listen to our own stuff. He goes, but she wasn't on it.
Okay, well maybe I'll listen.
I was like, yeah, the only part her voice is in it is at the very beginning.
So I still existed. Yay.
Hey. So how are you today?
You know.
We on the struggle bus.
Yeah.
You on the bigger struggle bus, but I'm also on the struggle bus.
I just have too much on my plate.
Yeah.
But I can't get rid of anything or someone's feelings would get hurt, so.
Sometimes you gotta say fuck their feelings.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can get rid of that isn't part of my job is this, so.
Don't leave me.
So.
Don't leave me. Not fuck my feelings. My feelings are more important than everybody else's. Okay, so you ready for some crime news?
I'm ready.
I mean, obviously, all I have to talk about is the multiple mass shootings in South Carolina. Fuck?
Alright, so I don't understand. Like, you realize when you shoot somebody, it doesn't solve anything. It just causes more problems.
But this all started, it's a fucking chain reaction.
Yeah,
the first
Columbia,
one I remember.
The school.
Anderson, the school.
The mall.
A
club.
Then just other random shootings.
Like, I want to go to Spring Fling this weekend, and I'm like, do I really want to take a chance?
I know, I really, really want to go.
I'm going anyways.
I mean, yeah, I'm going on Saturday.
Me too.
I'm just going to eat, if I'm being honest.
I mean, you can eat all that stuff. It's always down there.
Not all of it. The little food trucks with the fried food and the funnel cakes and this one thing that has like sausage dogs and peppers. That's really yummy.
Oh my god. Okay, this has nothing to do with this podcast, but
okay.
Travis comes sitting in the room the other night, and I'm reading my book, and he comes in. He was like, "You know what I really want?" I'm like, "What?" He was like, "I want you to go get some of those big sausages and then like soak them in beer." And then put them on my smoker and like have sausage and peppers. And that's how he was talking though. And he was like, and it's gonna be really good, you know, like it's gonna be really good.
I mean, that does sound fucking delicious. Well, I'm not gonna lie.
We're making them tomorrow, so if you want some.
But yeah, there's just been multiple shootings in South Carolina.
How did we go from shootings to sausage? I have no idea.
Spring Fling.
Anyways.
But listen, like, can y'all just fucking enjoy the nice weather without fucking assaulting people? We just talked about this last week with Clay, of not fucking assaulting people with fucking whipped cream.
I don't understand why we can't just get water guns. Like, if you just want to go on a water gun spree.
I'm fine with it.
Cool. I will even put up with it. Like, you can get me soaking wet. I'll deal with it. If it gets your anger out.
Makes you feel better.
Yeah, I'll deal with getting wet. But, this whole shooting shit up, it's gotta stop.
Yeah, like, fucking relax. So Columbia.
Eat a moon pie, drink some Mountain Dew, and stop killing people.
So, Columbia shooting, they have 2 suspects in custody. One more that they're still looking for, apparently. Don't know what's going on with that club shooting.
In Hampton?
Yeah.
My dad called me about that. Like, I was gonna be A, at a club, and B, in Hampton. I'm like, Dad, do you know where Hampton, South Carolina is? No. Do you think I ever go to clubs? I don't know.
We ain't in no damn clubs.
I'm like, Dad, you had a better chance calling me about, like, the mall shooting.
We're in the club of your living room, watching children's TV shows and talking shit.
Yeah, that's my club.
That's our club. Anyway, what's up today?
Well, today we are talking about a historic serial killer.
Love it.
Yep. So, I don't know if his name is John or Johann. It's Johann. Johann?
Johann. I like Johann.
Johann Hawke was born in Strasbourg, Germany in 1860. His father and both of his brothers were ministers, and Hawke himself was a college graduate in ministry Besides, he wasn't about that life. He decided to run away to the United States. Bro, first of all, how come even in the late 1800s, people thought to go to the United States to get away with their crimes? Even back then, they thought, come here. I guess he planned to be like one of the OGs of like the good old boys.
Probably.
Because wait, it gets good.
Okay.
I really don't like this guy. He's a bad man.
I mean, he's a serial killer, so I kind of assumed.
It gets worse. He's a serial killer with really shitty motives, okay?
Okay.
So, under the name of John Smith, Hawke married a middle-aged woman named Caroline Stryer in Philadelphia in October 20th, 1904. But 11 days later, he would disappear, and then on November 9th, he registered at Mrs. Kate Bowers Hotel, 674 East 60th Street in Chicago. On November 16th, he went to the Chicago City Bank and asked for the owner of a vacant cottage on Union Avenue in Chicago. He desired to rent it. He represented himself as a responsible position with Armour and Company, which was a huge company back then. He was able to rent it by lying. He had high position in the Armour Company, and he claimed that he was going to live in it with him and his wife. But remember, he had already abandoned one wife.
Yeah, he already did. Sure, fuck her.
On December 3rd, he publishes an advertisement, and this is word for word the advertisement because it is great.
I'm so excited.
It was in a German paper, and it read, Matrimonial German, owns a home, wishes acquaintance of widow without children, object matrimony, address M422, a Bend Post.
What the fuck?
So he is stating that he is a German man that wishes to marry a widow with no children.
Wait, he's not German, right?
He is German. He was born in Strasbourg, Germany. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a help wanted ad for a wife. He receives a reply back from a woman who has her sister write it, okay?
Okay.
This is the reply back. Dear sir, in answer to your honorable advertisement, I hereby inform you that I am a lady standing alone. I am 46 years and have a small business, also a few $100s. If you are in earnest, I tell you I shall be. I may be seen at 12 Willow Street. Mary Walker.
So we just putting it out there that we got money right away.
Yep.
Because back then, that amount of money.
Oh
is
yeah.
Money.
Wait till you hear the amount of money. First of all, can you imagine answering a wanted ad like that though? Now.
Oh hell no.
Can you let's just put it in today's Plenty of Fish terms. And that was the headline.
Plenty of Fish.
Object, marriage. Owns home. Replies back. I have money and a business. Wanting marriage. I don't get it.
No, I guess now our version of that is just dating websites.
Yeah. But we don't talk like that.
We don't talk like that, but you do put in there, like, if you're, like, for me, when I met Clay, I was on a dating website called Meet Me. Little known fact that I did not know, and I'm wondering if I'm just stupid. Meet Me was my yearbook. Do you remember my yearbook?
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what it changed to.
Yeah, I knew.
Because I used to, like, hang out on my yearbook all the time, and then I ended up on Meet Me years later, met my husband. But, like, I put all the stuff in there, and I'm like, listen, if you're not, like, you're just looking for a hookup, not interested. You know, like, I listed out.
Okay, but
shit.
you don't put, like...
No, I'm not going to put, like, I'm looking to get married. Like, no. Because I wasn't.
Alright. Well, so this is Hawke's response to the letter. Hawke called the candy store where Mary worked on December 6th, and during an extended conversation which followed, he represented Miss Walker that his wife had been dead for 2 years.
Bitch.
2 weeks. And that he possessed $8,000, the cottage for which he rented, and several vacant lots in the neighborhood of the cottage. He also claimed that his father, who lived in Germany, was 81 years old, and that when the old man died, he would inherit $15,000. It was soon agreed by the couple that they were intended for each other, and Hawke became a constant visitor at the store for the next 4 days.
I'll take you to the candy shop.
Okay. The fact that this man is claiming, well, I'm going to inherit $15,000 when my dad dies. First of all, I didn't look up the comparison of $15,000 in 1890 whatever to today, but sounds like a lot of money.
I'm literally Googling at the moment.
There was too many numbers.
I mean, round up, almost 5,000. 500,000, sorry.
I was going to say.
My brain did not process that many numbers.
So
it's almost 500,000.
So it's almost $500,000 in today's terms.
Yeah.
It was soon agreed upon that they were intended for each other. He becomes a constant visitor for the next 4 days.
4 days?
4 days. At the expiration of those 4 days, the couple decides they're going to get married. And the license was therefore procured for marriage, and the ceremony was performed.
But was he still married?
Yes.
Nobody was checking shit, apparently,
No,
at this
back
point
then.
in time.
Yeah. So he is known as the bigamist killer or Bluebeard bigamist or the Bluebeard murderer.
He wasn't maintaining the first marriage, so I don't really count it as being a bigamist.
Yeah, not me either. But that's what he was known.
I mean, okay.
So Mary Wackler would be the woman who, like, causes this whole scheme to explode. The bride sold her store for $75, which she gave to Hawke along with her entire savings, amounting to $350. He claimed he needed to prepare his home for occupancy as his money was tied up at the time.
Okay.
Women are stupid. Mrs. Wackler Hawke had a widowed sister named Mrs. Fisher. When Hawke met shortly after their marriage, he had learned that she had deposited $893 into her savings account. Why? It doesn't matter how much money the sister-in-law has.
He's making a plan.
A week after their marriage, Mrs. Wackler became very ill. And on December 20th, Dr. John Reese was called in. It was their family doctor. The woman complained of excruciating pains in her abdominal region and was throwing up a lot.
Poison.
Yeah. At first, it was violent. She had violent thirst and tingling sensations in her extremities and was described similar to ants crawling through her flesh. So, that is the worst feeling ever. I'm allergic to Vyvanse, and that's what it feels like.
Ooh.
It feels like it's under your skin and they're just walking around.
That makes me, feel nauseous.
Yeah, it's horrible.
The
doctor diagnosed her with nephritis and cystitis, which is Bright's disease and inflammation of the bladder. Hawke sent for this sick woman's sister, Miss Fisher, who frequently assisted about the house. She mailed her picture to her sick sister, which Hawke received, and wrote a letter acknowledging the receipt of it. So, Miss Fisher, which is Mary's sister, who is also widowed, has sent a picture to her sick sister. Her sick sister doesn't get it, but the sick husband does. Shortly afterwards, he is accompanied by Miss Fisher, which is Mary's sister.
Right.
And after they leave, Mary's sick. So they're driving down the road one afternoon while Mary is at home sick. And he says to her, "If I had met you 4 weeks earlier, I would have married you instead."
Dude, come on. Her sister is dying.
Wait, it gets better.
Ugh.
Miss Fisher, the sister, appeared to be so friendly and that the sick woman became jealous. So Miss Hawke, the current wife,
Yeah.
senses something's going on between the sister and the husband.
Yeah.
And she kicks her out. She leaves in a rage, and Mrs. Hawke will die on January 12th. So they were only married about a month before she dies. Miss Fisher was at the house at the time of her death, and a few moments after the death occurred, he proposed marriage to Miss Fisher.
Didn't even fucking wait.
She protested that the proposal was a trifle too sudden, although she accompanied him to Joliet 3 days after the funeral, and got married then.
First of all, wait a fucking minute. Wait a fucking minute. First of all, your wife just died. Pretend you give a shit.
Moments.
Your sister just died. Pretend you give a shit.
Moments after the death, okay?
My God. Oh, I'm angry. This happened in the fucking 1900s and I'm pissed. Oh my God.
Lord. So, they get married.
Okay.
He suggests that the honeymoon be spent in Germany, reminding his new wife of how it would look to visit his aging father, who's worth $500,000 in today's words.
I mean, yeah. If all you care about is money, yeah.
All you care about is money. So they go to Germany, but he would need another $1,000 to straighten out his business affairs in Chicago. She volunteers to come with him to assist for assistance and takes out $750 from her bank account and delivers it to him. Then they go to Wells Street, where she's renting a flat and kept rumors before her marriage. So she has like a bunch of apartments and she lives in one and rents out the rest.
Okay. Reasonable.
At the door, they are met by Mrs. Schwapperberg. She is the woman that prepared the letter for Mary.
Schwapperberg.
At the time, before she met Hawke. So she's the one that wrote the letter back for the advertisement.
Yeah.
So she wants to speak to Hawke, and Hawke is like, absolutely no way. You ladies go talk to her. So while they go talk to her, he disappears.
He's so good at that.
He's so good at that.
Girlies, listen. All girlies that are listening, which isn't that many, weirdly enough. But listen, don't be giving men your money. It's fucking stupid. Unless you married, don't give him shit. And even then,
I mean, they were
questionable.
Don't marry somebody after knowing them for 30 seconds.
For reals.
Anyways, so when they come back from talking to agitated Strasbach, the friend of dead Marie, they realize he had disappeared. And Miss Fisher thinks, well, that was suspicious.
Yeah.
Just
let's not talk about anything else, but just that of him disappearing is suspicious. All right.
Ooh. They end up calling police, and Inspector of Police George Shippey was notified. The body of Miss Wackler Hawke was exhumed, and they did a post-mortem investigation of her body. And they end up finding that she had 7.6 grams of arsenic in her stomach and 1% grains in her liver.
Makes sense.
There was no arsenic in any of the medicines prescribed by Dr. Reese, nor in the embalming fluid. The authorities became convinced, in view of Hawke's conduct, that he was the one who administered the poison.
No shit.
His picture was published in papers and great publicity was given to this case. So it was blasted for this time.
Yeah.
It was worldwide news at this level. It was...
How big you gotta fuck up to be worldwide news at this point, though?
On January 30th of 1905, Miss Catherine Kimbrell, who conducted she had a boarding house.
Normal things back at that point, too.
Yeah, normal things. In New York. She notifies police that a man's giving the name of Henry Bartels, but whose actions and appearance are much like Hawke. 20 minutes after he entered the house, he volunteered to assist her in the kitchen by peeling potatoes, and the next day he proposed marriage.
Fuck's sake. Don't even take.
So we're gonna peel potatoes one day and propose the next. Peel and propose. Peel and propose.
Can you imagine meeting somebody and then the next day being like, yeah, sure, I'll marry you? Fuck no.
Absolutely not. I might be, enthralled by you.
But I'm not gonna marry you.
Not gonna marry. No.
Marriage is a big commitment.
Hell, I had a baby with a man and lived with him for 5 years before I married him.
We take marriage seriously in this bitch.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen. So after Catherine calls the police because of his fast proposal, the man is taken into custody and he admits that he is Hawke, claiming he assumed the name Bartels because of trouble he had with his sister-in-law regarding property.
Yeah, trouble regarding property. Not at all that you married her.
No.
Right after her sister died or anything, not at all.
So he is searched. When he is searched, they find a fountain pen on him. But it isn't a fountain pen. It's a holder. And inside the holder, they find a powdery substance. And Hawke claims it's tooth powder. But then he's told that, they're going to analyze it. And he says, don't bother, it's arsenic.
Thank you for telling on yourself.
But he claims that he bought it with the intention of committing suicide, and he insisted he did not have arsenic in Chicago, because remember, he's in New York now, and gave the location of a drugstore in New York where he purchased the pen and the arsenic. The police visited the store, and they found fountain pens were not sold there, and there was not arsenic, nor had they ever seen Hawke. By the time the prisoner was returned to Chicago, Inspector Shippey had learned of the following women who were among his victims.
Oh!
A list.
Yes, a list of women.
And this is just a few that they could confirm. They think it could be anywhere between 25 and 50 women.
Jesus.
So, Martha Steinbach was married to Hawke in 1895 and died 4 months later. When this lady was dying, she had declared she had been poisoned, but was thought to be delirious when she made this statement, and no credence was given in it. He sold her property for $4,000 and disappeared. Mary Rankin married Hawke in November of 1985 in Chicago and disappeared with her money the following day. Martha Hertzfield married him in April of 1896. 4 months later, he disappeared with $600 of her money. And he really likes these Marys.
It was a common name.
And Marthas. So, Martha Hawke is the one that breaks everything open. He marries her in August of 1896 in Wheeling, West Virginia, and died shortly afterwards. Barbara Bozart married him September 22nd of 1896 in San Francisco after 3 days of courtship.
Why the fuck are y'all, these bitches marrying him so fast? I'm sorry, bitches might be derogatory, but listen!
You guys are crazy!
You're crazy! I'm gonna call you bitches if you come off crazy.
So Barbara was a widow living at 108 Langston Street. He married her under the name of Schmidt and disappeared 2 days afterwards with $1,465. That was her life savings, and she committed suicide shortly after because of it.
I don't like that.
Yep. So then he takes up lodging at another house in San Francisco and immediately attempts to creep on the landlady. And a few hours after he proposed marriage, she refused, so he leaves.
She was like, fuck off. Smart lady.
Yeah. Clara Bartell married Hawke in November of 1896 in Cincinnati, Ohio. She died 3 months later. Julia Dose marries the man in January of 1897 in Hamilton, Ohio. And he disappears the same day with $700 of her money.
Oh, first of all, homeboy's getting all over the fucking country.
I know!
Jesus.
In April of 1898, he's arrested in Chicago for selling mortgage furniture, which is like how we have errands now.
Yeah.
It's like he was selling
furniture that he didn't own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And
that's a no-no. You can't do that, guys, in case you didn't know.
No. But he is sent to the House of Corrections, which is jail of today, for 2 years. And after being released, he begins operations again. He marries Anna Groger in November of 1901, Mary Becker in April of 1902. She dies shortly later in 1903. Anna Hendricks, he marries on January 2nd of 1904. 18 days later, he disappears with $500 of her money.
This is a never-ending list, my lord.
Oh, I can go for longer. He married Lena in June of 1904 in Milwaukee, and she died 3 weeks later, leaving him $1,500. Then came Caroline Steinbacher in Philadelphia, and Miss Wacker, and the sister of Mrs. Fisher. And, he also had a wife in Germany with 3 children.
The fuck?
And these were only women that they could confirm.
What the fuck? Sir, get a fucking job!
He had education in ministry, but, praising Jesus. Don't get it. I don't get it. So, Inspector Shippey, who is the investigator of this case, finds 5 of his former wives were admitted to the room on purpose to identify the prisoner. When they caught sight of him, they required considerable effort on part of the officers to quiet them because they were obviously...
I mean, you put a bunch of women in a room together. First of all, we're going to be loud. Second of all, tell them they're all married to the same man.
Yeah, well, they weren't fighting each other. They were just being very vulgar to the situation.
As you should be.
And this was back in the 1900s, so it was, yeah.
Women weren't allowed to do that shit.
So during the trial, Inspector Shippey testifies that Hawke admitted to him that he had no love for any of his wives and that he advertised for them. He mentioned his preference for middle-aged women because it was easier to separate their money than younger women. On May 19th, he was found guilty, and on June 3rd, the date of execution was set for June 23rd, which is crazy to think how quickly after the trial they executed. Because back then, it worked like that.
Yeah.
And there's another case that I was reading, like 1944, there was in South Carolina, they did it within a couple days.
It used to be fucking speedy as shit. No questions fucking asked, pretty much.
Well, this will be the start of, should we get appeals during the death case? So, when his execution is set, he tries to appeal to the governor, and the governor refused to listen. And
the governor said, fuck off.
Then a woman comes.
Oh, another woman.
Cora Wilson, who conducted a furrier store. Don't know what that is. I tried to figure it out.
A what store?
Furrier. Furrier. Don't know what it is.
That sounds German.
It's in Chicago. She came to the rescue by giving enough money to make it possible for an appeal with the Supreme Court. The governor consented to postpone his execution because they had the money now. Mm-hmm. She claimed that she had never seen Hawke, but she wanted to make sure that he would given every opportunity to prove his innocence.
Fair.
So she was one of the original is death penalty.
Yeah.
Fair. After reviewing the case, Supreme Court sustains the lower court, and the execution was set for August 25th of 1905. On August 24th, he obtained another lease of life, which gave him more time. Mm-hmm. But ultimately it was a waste. On December 16th, the court refused to interfere, and he was executed on February 23rd of 1906.
Fuck you.
But so there was up to 50 women that he either stole from and or murdered, but he was only charged in one death.
Right, because that's really only when you could 100% prove.
Yeah, the one with the arsenic.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. That's a lot of people.
Get a fucking job if you want money that fucking bad. Or go back to Germany where you got a wife and 3 fucking kids.
I can't find anywhere other than the original than the Wikipedia page that he actually had a wife and 3 kids.
It wouldn't surprise me.
But there was no, sources to back that up. Well, I mean, and he was educated. It wasn't like this man grew up in squalor. This was an educated, well-to-do family in Germany.
Yeah.
They were all in ministry. They had a decent life.
What a fucking waste. What a fucking waste of education. Something that could have been a perfectly good man. What a fucking waste.
Mm-hmm.
You're a piece of shit. I don't fucking like you. I'm not sad you died.
I don't like him either.
But also, I'm judging some of these women.
Me too.
Like, I half understand because back then it was like you were to be married.
Okay, but...
Like, you were a widow, you were lonely. I get it. But also, know somebody for a while. Like, court. Anyways, yeah, like, what, like...
And that was a lot of numbers and dates to move back and forth. So if it was hard to follow through, I'm sorry. The storyline, it had so many dates.
Yeah, it was a lot of dates because even I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, thinking of what you just said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a lot.
I want to know, like, first of all, how did he get around so quickly?
Were there cars at that point?
Yeah.
I don't know when cars were invented. Don't say yeah, like...
I mean, they weren't cars like today. But yeah, there was cars.
And, like, they were really slow, right?
Yeah.
So...
Was there cars?
Wait, hold on. Let me look up when cars were invented. 1886 was the first car.
Well, he had enough money after all stealing from all these women to buy one.
But listen, like, even then, how the fuck did you go from here to here to here to here to here to here to here? What? I mean, good way to cover your tracks, I'm not gonna lie.
That was all he was doing, was court
marry, kill Mary, court...
Like, some of them he lasted a couple months with, but I wonder if he lasted because...
There was more money in it if they died.
Like, if they waited around for it.
I don't like him. He's a piece of shit. Fuck you. So, here's your lessons for today, guys. Don't fucking just quickly marry men. Don't give men your money. Don't fucking take anybody for just face value, because ain't nobody what they are at face value.
And women, don't take any men's money. Make your own fucking money.
Yes, everybody make your own fucking money and get a fucking job.
Get a job.
Like, listen, there's a gazillion fucking work-from-home jobs these days where you can actually make good money doing it. There's so many opportunities to fucking work. Just go get a fucking job. Make your money. Shut the fuck up. You don't need somebody else's money. I get it. Would it be nice to have a sugar daddy? Yeah.
No, I don't want. You want to give me extra? Cool, but I'll still make my own.
Oh, well, yeah. That's what more for me is, like, I still want a job. I still want to work. But also, make it a little easier.
I mean, no, make it more fun. So if you got money... I'll make my real money. You make my play money.
Yeah, play money. Well.
That's my story.
I liked that story. That was a fun ride.
Mm-hmm. I want to know how they confirmed that many people back in 1905.
He had to be giving some names. He had to. Because there's no way they're just going around saying, has anybody been married to this man? Carrying his fucking picture around in the streets. Like, are you married to this man? Do you know this man? No.
Like, what would you, like, the fact that he would just disappear. Did they think he was hurt? Did they think he, like, abandoned them? Like,
I would have, I'm assuming they probably thought abandoned.
Or murdered.
I mean, especially if he took off with their money. Like,
how would they know? It's not like they could trace bank accounts these days. Like they
no, but if it's, I'm pretty sure, realistically, if you marry somebody, then your money's gone, and he's gone, put two and two together, and use your fucking brain.
I mean, they didn't use their brains. They gave their money without knowing him.
I mean, I will give them some of the benefit of the doubt because it was a different time. Things worked differently. I don't know how it worked because I wasn't even close to alive. So I will say, yeah, it was different. Things worked differently. So you kind of just have to go with some of it is, well, the times and blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't like this was a normal... Okay, they weren't aware of scammers, you know? Like we are.
He was the original boyfriend scammer of the 18 and 1900s.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Well, thanks for tuning in this week. Be sure to follow us on all our social media under the name Crime and Chill Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tickety Talk.
Tickety Talk.
Join our Facebook group, Crime and Chill Fam, to talk more crime with us. Like and rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Do whatever it is you do on Podbean because that is where most of our listeners are. And I don't know anything about Podbean, but do the things. And yeah, thanks for tuning in this week, and we will see you guys next week. Bye!
Bye!